study,
and play come together on a Windows 11 PC.
And for a limited time, college students get
The best of both worlds.
Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
Mornings have a rhythm. You can hear it, feel it. And at Quaker, we fuel it. With 100% whole grain oats and a good source of fiber in every bowl, helping you turn that rhythm into your soundtrack for a great day. Fuel to start whatever's next. Quaker, official sponsor of FIFA World Cup 26.
Let's go! Let's go!
LinkedIn is pretty great at a lot of things, like helping you tap into the latest trends and insights in your field. We cannot stop your coworker from tapping her pencil. LinkedIn can help you find new jobs that align with your career goals. We cannot help you find the source of that weird smell in the office fridge. Ew. And while we can't stop your coworkers from bringing their hobbies into the office, LinkedIn can help you bring your career to the next level. LinkedIn is the network that works for you.
What is the least amount of exercise you can do and still get the results? Well, this is a question that can change everything because the answer is not what most people think. And there's a new study that proves it. Hey, I'm JJ Virgin, PhD dropout, sorry mom, turned 4-time New York Times bestselling author. As a certified nutrition specialist, fitness Hall of Famer, and globally recognized leader in health, I'm driven to keep asking the tough questions and use my podcast to simplify the science of health into actionable strategies that help you thrive. I'd also love to hear your thoughts on the show, and here's the fun part. When you send me your review, I'll reply to you using my on-demand virtual me. That's right, my team and I created a virtual JJ packed with my books, speeches, and wisdom so I can personally connect with you. Here's how you do it. Subscribe and leave an honest review of the podcast. Take a screenshot of your review. Text it to 813-565-2627. That's 813-565-2627. My virtual JJ will reply directly. And trust me, this will make your day. So subscribe now at subscribetojj.com and text me your review. Let's keep thriving together.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
All right, let's get into it. I've been coaching women over 40 for decades, and I'm over 42. And what I see over and over again is that people are struggling either because they're not doing an exercise hard enough, or they're choosing the wrong exercises or doing the wrong things in the wrong order. So let's answer the question directly. What is the minimum effective dose of exercise you need if your goal is to stay strong, maintain your metabolism, and age powerfully? You need to do resistance training for each body part, minimally 2 days a week. And you got to do it progressively. That means it's getting harder with enough load to challenge your muscles relative to what you can do. That's it. It's really that simple. Not easy, but simple. That's the foundation. Notice I said nothing about cardio. I didn't say anything about high intensity interval training. I didn't say anything about running yourself into the ground trying to burn more calories. And the reason for that comes down to how your body actually works. So muscle is a metabolically active tissue, right? Which means every pound of muscle you build increases your resting metabolic rate and helps your body burn more calories around the clock. Not just when you're exercising. When you're doing resistance training progressively, meaning you're getting stronger and building muscle over time because you're increasing either the weights, the reps, or the intensity, you're sending your body a very clear signal that muscle is valuable and should be preserved. And that matters because quality muscle mass is one of the strongest predictors of how well you age. Not just how you look, but how long you stay independent, how mobile you are, and your metabolic health overall. All right, so why does more muscle change how you burn fat? And once you understand this, I think the whole fat loss piece becomes so much simpler because the whole goal here isn't about just trying to lose weight, right? It's actually losing fat while holding onto or building muscle. In fact, when I'm helping someone improve their body composition, my approach is to build muscle first and then, and only then, focus on burning fat. Now, to do this, you're still going to need a little calorie deficit, right? Because you got to get into those fat stores. But resistance training combined with optimal dietary protein is what determines where the weight loss is going to come from. Without it, your body is going to lose both fat and muscle. And when that happens, your metabolism slows down and it's so much harder to sustain results. With resistance training, you preserve, or better yet, even build muscle while losing fat, called recomping, which keeps your metabolism working for you instead of against you. Now, this is where so many people get frustrated because they're eating less, doing more cardio, and watching the scale all of a sudden stall or just go so slow without realizing they're losing the very tissue that makes that fat loss and fat maintenance sustainable. So where should you actually start if you're not doing anything right now? Because this is where people either overdo it or they just don't do anything at all. Now, there was a large study titled Deaths Potentially Averted by Small Changes in Physical Activity and Sedentary Time. This was an individual participant data meta-analysis of prospective cohort studies. And it was led by a team of Norwegian researchers, and it was published in the journal The Lancet, really amazing journal, that looked at what happens when people simply move more and how it's associated with meaningful reductions in mortality risk. Now, this was a meta-analysis, as I said. It had over 135,000 adults, and they looked at physical activity measured with wearable devices, and the follow-up was 8 years. And what they found, this is crazy, adding in just 5 minutes of moderate to vigorous activity per day was linked to about 6 to 10% fewer deaths in population models. Reducing your sitting time by 30 minutes per day linked to about 3 to 7% fewer deaths. What's your takeaway? Even little things, even small increases in daily movement can meaningfully improve longevity. So if you're currently sedentary, your first step is not to jump into a full program or try to totally overhaul your life and your fitness. Your first step is just to get moving. Move that 10 minutes a day consistently with the goal of moving up that intensity and that step count as you go. But just start with consistency. It might be a brisk walk. It might be getting outside, simply being intentional about movement, right? Because consistency builds the foundation. But here's where most people get stuck if they stay there too long. They're like, okay, I got that done. Now we're going to build on it, right? Moving more is the entry point, but it's not the end goal. Because once you've established that baseline, the question becomes, how do you actually change your body and protect your metabolism for the long term? And that, my friend, is where strength comes in. So let's talk about what the minimum actually looks like when you're ready to build that muscle. So you've got the minimum, right? You're moving at least 10 minutes a day. I'm hoping that you're moving more than that. My goal is start with 10, and then let's make sure you're getting 8,000 steps per day. And that is just non-negotiable. It's what you do. From here, we're going to add in resistance training. And we're going to talk about the minimum for this. So I'm going to simplify things as much as possible so it's really doable. No excuses, okay? So at a starting point, I want you to think about this as 2 sessions per week, about 30 minutes each. And you're going to use my 2 by 2 by 2 framework. Okay, the first 2, that's for those 2 days a week. You're going to want to work each major body part 2 days a week. Upper body pushing, upper body pulling, and hip and thigh hinging. Now, I actually didn't put core in there because I want you to incorporate core stability as you're doing the movements in these 3 groups. But if you need a little more focus on your core, maybe you've got some back issues, then you can add that in there. Now, the next 2 is for 2 exercises. You're going to do 2 exercises for each of these body parts. So upper body pushing, that could be a push-up, pulls in your core. That can be an overhead press, also pulls in your core for stabilization. Could be upper body pulling is next. That's like a bent over row. Again, core and a high pull. Hip and thigh hinging could be a squat and a step up. Now, the final 2 stands for 2 working sets of each exercise. So that means you're going to do a good mobility warm-up overall, and then a warm-up set, an easier set of each of the exercises, working through full range of motion, and then 2 sets where you challenge your muscles, which means you should feel like when you get to the end of it, that you have maybe 1 or 2 left in the tank, that you're starting to slow down, that your form's going to go if you don't take a break. I find most women do not push themselves hard enough. So make sure you're getting yourself to that point. You have to challenge your muscles. Now, I like a rep range of 6 to 12 reps, but you can go up to as high as 30. It really is how comfortable you are. Heavier weights, lighter sets, 6 to 12 reps. Lighter weights, heavier, 30 reps. But you have to get to that point of that 1 to 2 reps in reserve, that 1 to 2 left in the tank. So you can't go super light, right? Got to get to that point. Then you're going to take a 90-second to 2-minute rest break in between. Now, if you want to do some of that core work or more mobility work, now is the time. Not stretching, but core work or mobility work. Now, you can take this 30 minutes, this 2 days a week, and guess what you could do? You could divide it between 3 days as well. So you could push one day, pull one day, hinge one day, and repeat as long as you hit each body part 2 times a week. Here's the thing. The goal here is not complexity. It's simplicity and progression. You want to get stronger over time. And that means you're going to be adding weight or adding reps or adding sets, because that's what tells your body, hey, get stronger and adapt and hold on to or build muscle. Now, once that's in place, then you can start to add in other things like power moves, balance challenges, or other more advanced things. And you can also start adding in short bursts of high intensity work, HIIT training, like intervals, sprints, the fun stuff. But this is great for your VO2 max. And this is where you can start really improving your metabolic flexibility and your conditioning. And I'm not talking hours of exercise, right? Just adding in some intensity. Now, you can also at this point, once you've got all of that on board, add in a longer cardio session if you want. Sometimes I'll go hiking or walking, or throw in a yoga session as well. Whenever I'm in town, I get a yoga session in once a week because it forces me to do things I would never do any other way. But I'll tell you, this is where a lot of people get it backwards because they start with the long cardio. They try to build everything from there when in reality, that's like the final, that's icing on the cake. The really important stuff is the resistance training. I mean, walking, cycling, longer sessions can help with your cardiovascular health, your mental clarity. They can reduce stress, but they don't replace resistance training. If your goal is fat loss, if your goal is longevity, if your goal is powerful aging, and of course it is. And the thing is, resistance training helps your heart as well. So when you zoom out and you look at this as a whole, the structure becomes super clear. You start with that daily movement. Remember that 10 minutes. And then start to really look at it and go, can I break this up all throughout the day so I'm not sitting for very long? Can I add more steps? Can I add a little intensity? Park farther away, take the stairs. By the way, here's a crazy stat for you. Did you know that there's stairs in an escalator? 95% of people take the escalator. So you and me, we're going to be that 5%, right? Then you got that going. Then you're going to layer on the resistance training 2 days a week per body part. That's the foundation. Then layer in those short bursts of intensity, that high intensity interval training, then maybe a yoga session, maybe in a longer cardio session, if that's like what you want to do. What I want you to really take away from all this is it's not about doing more cardio. It's about doing the right stuff. So you got to start small, right? Get that consistency in, build on it, build towards the strength, because that is what's going to protect your metabolism, your independence, your long-term health. And you've got now the minimum effective dose. Everything beyond that, that's optional. It just makes sure you're hitting it hard enough. You're challenging your muscles. And here's the piece that can quietly undermine all of this if you're not paying attention. If your diet's still built around sugar and refined carbohydrates, everything becomes harder. Your insulin sensitivity drops, your energy becomes unstable, and your cravings start to drive your decisions instead of your goals. This is where I see people doing all the right things with exercise, but still not getting the results they want. So if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. You don't need more exercise. You need the right exercise done consistently with the right priority. Start with daily movement, then add resistance training. Support it with protein, not sugar. Protect your sleep and recovery because that's what you need to build the muscle, and then build from here. And if you want help dialing in the nutrition side of this, especially when it comes to identifying and removing the hidden sugars that are working against you, that's exactly what I teach in my book, The Sugar Impact Diet. Because when you combine the right training with the right nutrition, it's like magic. And if you want more practical, science-based strategies to help you stay strong and age powerfully, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Because once you understand what actually matters, you can stop doing more and start doing what works. Be sure to join me next time for more tools, tips, and techniques you can use to look and feel your best and be built to last. Also, I'd love to connect with you and hear your thoughts on the podcast. Here's how. First, subscribe to the podcast and leave an honest review. Second, take a screenshot of your review. And third, text it to 813-565-2627. That's 813-565-2627. When you do, I'll reply using my brand new Virtual JJ. It's my on-demand virtual self built from my books, talks, and years of experience so I can interact with you directly. You'll make my day, and I can't wait to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Hey, JJ here, and just a reminder that the Well Beyond 40 podcast offers health, wellness, fitness, and nutritional information that's designed for educational and entertainment purposes only. You should not rely on this information as a substitute for, nor does it replace professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you have any concerns or questions about your health, you should always consult with a physician or other healthcare professional. Make sure that you do not disregard, avoid, or delay obtaining medical or health-related advice from your healthcare professional because of something you may have heard on the show or read in our show notes. The use of any information provided on the show is solely at your own risk.
Struggling with weight loss? Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking diet is a clinically developed nutrition program designed to promote fat loss while protecting lean body mass. Developed at USC's Longevity Institute, it assists the body in entering a fasting-like state that helps reset metabolism and target visceral fat. In just 5 days, Prolon offers a science-backed approach to weight loss without extreme restriction or guesswork. Get 15% off plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe at prolonlife.com/now.